Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. Good times for all. There's Zachary Zabala here if you prefer. In today's video, we will, I don't know, I think we're going to be going over some space lettuce, really. Talk a little bit about what we talked about last night over on Iron Realm Media about the rift that has taken place over the last week, mostly pertaining to Nathan and Bob. The way I put it, it was two admirals fighting different wars on different fronts, arguing over what they're going to call their weapons, kind of. These things are going to happen, folks. This is just, we're people. Like Walt said, we have emotions. And so many of us have invested so much time and effort and just our lives into this topic. We have, it's like we were all, you know, awoken when we found this out, and it has, it energizes you at times. It really does. It gives you these. I know I spent like 3 weeks, something like that, 4 weeks, where I got barely any sleep, just researching and this and that. And then it finally catches up to you, and you're like, man, okay, I understand, but I need to try to start living, you know, a life again. Now it's a very rude awakening. It really is. There is no nice, easy way to have it done. Um, it's it's not easy having all this thrust at you, and then so many of us, we wear our, our heart on our sleeve right here, and we're not scared to tell, people that are in this community with us, that we're not scared to share, or I'm the scared is not the right word. It's hard to control these emotions sometimes when you are this, intertwined with this topic and idea, and how much influence it has on your daily lives, and how much influence it has just on your mind, how much time it takes out of your day thinking about these topics. And I'm sure for both of them, it's quite a bit. Like I said, these are two of the admirals, folks. While Nathan is standing outside the gates of the castle saying, "This is all rubbish. You people have been lying and you don't know what you're talking." And he's absolutely right. And you've taken these words that we now hold so dear, and you've muddied them, and he's 100% correct. I agree. The word science, we are taught at such a young age that it carries such a heavy hammer with it, you know? And just like we're taught, we did these experiments and we learned these things at such a young age that when they start, it's like we know it to be that way because that's how we were taught. It's so hard to just turn that off and change it. And that's the hardest part about it, is turning off something that you've learned and known. It's like changing part of your vocabulary. It really is. It's like quitting smoking cigarettes. It's like quitting drinking alcohol for an alcoholic. These things are ingrained in us, they're instilled in our lives, for years and years and years. Every time we speak of these things, or every time they came up, these are the words that we used. And I still catch myself using these words: science, experiment. I'm getting better. I say a lot more observation or test or. And it's not like we can't use these words. It's not like these words are off limits. But when we are speaking of, actual science, the understanding of nature and the world around us, then it's like using a different language almost. It's like we went out of this room and now we're in this room, and there's different rules that apply when you say things. And we need to differentiate the two with everybody outside the community. They need to be educated as well, just not on the shape of the earth, but so many more lies. So many more lies that this is the one that kind of wakes them up to acknowledge that there could be all these other lies. But as for the whole Nathan and Bob thing, like I said, they're two different generals leading two different armies, kind of. If you can understand that. Nathan is standing outside, you know. And I said the word revolt last night, and then I took it back, but I don't think I should have, because it is. It's a revolution Nathan wants. Revolution means to come back around again. We started with this real thing, with science, with real experiments, understanding this place. And it went around, and now it's askewed. It's no longer, we didn't take a straight and narrow path with this. It turned. So it does need a revolution. It does need to come back around again, full circle, to that one spot where it's true again. And it's only in this direction, and it's very strict, and it's very, you have to be on this line. There is no veering off and saying, well, this is kind of like, no. There's none of that in science. Science is a definitive, straightforward, no nonsense, no speaking your way around it, no mathematical theories no, there is none of that stuff. We didn't make it turn, but we do need to make it come back around again. So I am 100% with Nathan, that a revolution does need to take place with our language and our understanding of these words. Now, in Bob's case, I am 100% with Bob. Like I said, they're two different generals. Bob is trying to waken up the academic community from within. So he has to go in there and he has to play by their rules and play their games and jump through their hoops. So even though Bob knows it's not an experiment, you're going to catch him still using these words, experiment. You're going to catch all of us still doing it. It's not something that you just turn off very easily. Very few people can do that. But Bob is fighting the fight from within. Nathan is standing outside the castle, hurling, boulders, and has the battering ram trying to beat down the door, while Bob is inside whispering little nothings into the scientists' ears, trying to wake them up out of their slumber. The only way you can, because these people, they're educated. Remember, they look down on the peons like us that weren't educated. So we're not going to get through to these people, the scientific community. it's going to take, people speaking their language, people who are accredited and have, been educated. Now they've taken a lot of that education and said, we don't, I understand that this is BS, but they still have to, walk a different line. They have to take the curve. So Nathan is trying to bring it around, and Bob and them are just, they have to, wherever it goes, they have to ride that line right now. They have to. And this will not be forever. It's not like it's gonna, these are gonna, two paths are gonna keep going off and going off and going off. We're gonna reach a moment to where there's enough people to where there will be enough people on the inside and the outside. If you understand what I'm saying. I think the way FE Core, Bob and Mike and them are going about it is a more, it's going to work on the inside much better. On the inside of the castle, those tactics are what you need to do. That's how that war is fought. But you can't do that outside the castle. I mean, Bob and Mike could get their foot in the door and, get inside and then start doing that, but then they'd just get thrown right out and laughed at. So it's a very, very, that's why FE Core doesn't mean flat earth core. Field engineer core. There's some amazing people in there, folks. And they're working all the time, trying to come up with new ways to wake up the scientific community. And it's not an easy task. It is not. It's still going to be a pretty long road, I see. On the other hand, Nathan is not have an easy battle in front of him either. Hey Tom, how we doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's kind of up in the air who's going to get to the drawbridge first or get the door down first. Are they going to do it from the inside or the outside? I think from the outside is much more difficult. On the inside, it would almost be possible if they didn't have a group that was funded. You have to be able to speak their language and talk their talk. But on the outside, I think Nathan is doing a wonderful job waking up all new kinds of people. Yeah, Tom, I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Turned 40 yesterday. Is a good day. Had a really good night over on Iron Realm Media last night. That was a good one. Yeah, I'm doing all right. We're putting the garden in today down here in Central Florida. A. McKenzie, he's teaching me some stuff and I'm teaching him some stuff. And today is a big day. I built him a garden, put a garden in for him and compost pile and all that kind of good stuff. Oh, thanks, Tom. Yep, 1/3 of the way there. I'm going to be 120, so I got a lot more living to do, a lot more learning. Is there any topics you'd like me to chat about? I was going to actually go into space.com and start ripping on some of that. I just wanted to talk about Nathan and Bob for a little bit. I still had a little bit more to say. On Iron Realm, there's so many people. They kind of got to take turns and stuff. But yeah, there's been so much space lettuce lately that I just bored. Felt like getting online and hanging out for a little bit. I'll probably just erase this one. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I got up early for some reason today. I'm not sure. But yeah, Nathan and Bob, I mean, they're gonna. I don't think they were ever really, really all that chummy and buddies and or anything like that. Like I said, they're two generals, two leaders that are on different fronts, opposite ends of the front almost. So it is what it is. They're not gonna have to see things eye to eye. They don't even have to speak to each other. That's okay. But I think it's important that they know that they're on the same team. It's or at least have a common enemy. They share a common enemy. And that is these people that have been lying to us and hiding the truths from us. So yeah, um, and that's all I'm pretty much going to say on that topic. I really like Bob and Nathan both a lot. I think what they're doing is excellent work. Um, and Bob's got a lot going on right now. So much going on with this whole behind the curve nonsense and the copyright infringements on their logo that he's fixing right now and just all kinds of stuff. And I'm sure he has a life as well outside of this place, outside of Flat Earth. Now imagine throwing all of that stuff, all of that extra baggage on top of your everyday life. I mean, that's not easy. That's got to be. He's lucky he has Cammy and Jaren. Jaren's a great kid, very bright. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I didn't get to speak to him too much, but yeah, I got a really good vibe from him. Just a good-hearted kid that cares about this and really cares about his parents and his the whole family. I mean, they have a really beautiful home. I mean, it could have looked like a shack, and it's just a beautiful home when you have people who care about each other like that. It's but yeah, I think I'm done with talking about Bob and Nathan. I love both the guys. The stuff they do is awesome. It's needed on both fronts. Um, and this is gonna all blow over, and it's gonna be nothing eventually. And hopefully, Bob gets a good break in if he needs one, and he just jumps back in one of these days and grabs the horse by the reins again and starts leading us. Because that's what we need. We need good leaders, and Bob is good at leading, as well as Nathan. So let's see what's going on in the world of space today. Um, let's see. Close that out and open up this one. I'll share this with you guys here. Give me one sec. Okay. We will. Did I put it up? There we go. All right, so we're on space.com. Oh, I put space, comma. What am I thinking? There we go. Space.com. And we'll go to their official site, space.com. We're going to look at some of this nonsense that they've been telling us here. We're going to go full screen. On March 9th, 1961, the Soviet Union launches dummy, dog, and guinea pig into space. First, we're going to do space flight because it's funny some of the crap that they're saying that we're doing now. Richard Branson saying that the flights will start here real soon, blah, blah, blah. And it's, I don't even think they're getting up to 70,000 feet. Exos Aerospace reflies suborbital rocket, blah, blah, blah. Barnstorming Venus. Left its little Earth. What is this crap? So it costs so much money, every ounce, you know? And they're bringing crap like this up. Their little trinkets and gizmos and gadgets. I understand that people need to have their, I don't know, pictures, SpaceX crew, blah, blah, blah. Where's the Richard Branson stuff? I'm just going to type it in. We'll search space.com. Virgin Galactic. His space tourism company. Well, hi there. Oh, hi, sorry, babe. You want to come say hi? Well, come here. Wait, come here. You be stretching? Are you be stretching? Hi. Hi, buddy. You want to come up here? Come here. No? Okay. Okay. Oh, he's just big stretching. Sorry, guys. Hank just got up. Next few years, when was that? January 9th, 2019. Yeah. In the next few years, they said they were starting to do this like, okay, no, wait, that was January 9th. Here we go, 11 days ago. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Oh. Yeah, Jose, hey, Boynich. Yeah, I don't worry about all that. I don't get too many watchers. She can see the dog. Yeah, I put that to keep under the radar, Jose, for the most part. It keeps it nice and small and at the edge of space, they say here. This is 11 days ago. This is what I was looking at before. Now, I don't understand how they can say that this is the edge of space. Okay, below light, a few frames later, the curve of the Earth underneath it, Unity cloaked at peak altitude. Oh, well, it did get 55 miles up, so I was wrong. But they say 55 miles up is the edge of space. Hey, Sandra. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. I know they say the edge of space is now, blah blah blah, super far out there, but wasn't it always I thought it was 60 miles up. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but didn't they always say like right around 60 miles up was the edge of space? 62 miles or something like that? Peak altitude, which is slightly above the U.S. Air Force's defined boundary of space. So I bet at that altitude, because none of us have ever seen anything from that altitude, that's like double. Well, that's well over double 120,000 feet. Take care, Jose. Thanks for dropping in, man. Okay, but they talk about here pretty soon they're going to be sending, let's see, Unity's February 22nd voyage brought it to a maximum altitude of 4.4 miles higher than its historic flight on December 13th, which was the first time Galactic breached the Air Force's space boundary. However, both space flights' ascent was well short of the Kármán line of 62 miles. Okay. International Astronautical Federation considers for being the beginning of space. So yeah, it is 62 miles. They're getting up there though. Um, is it worth a $250,000 trip? Wow. Hundreds of potential space tourists have already claimed a spot for suborbital flights aboard Virgin spacecraft, paying $250,000 a piece for the privilege. Entrepreneur Richard Branson, who founded the company, said he hopes to fly for the first time on July 16th, 2019, the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11's launch of 3 humans to the moon. That's Virgin Galactic looks ahead at beginning to commercial space. So I don't know if I can play his video. It's not like I'm, um, releases amazing footage. I think this is YouTube probably. Um, but yeah, this is space.com. I just checked out Richard or Virgin Galactic. And if you want to check it out, you can. Oh, see if it's. Oh no, it doesn't look like it's. Wow, look at that. That is pretty cool. I mean, see, this stuff can still be cool. It can still be. We can be amazed. We can be amazed by. Yeah, I don't get a lot of people. It don't bother me. No big deal. Yeah, we can be amazed by the achievements that we actually can achieve. I find it hard to believe that they kept anything that stable while rockets are being off and there's supposedly so many G's being pushed and this and that. This is the stuff that I just don't buy. It looks beautiful. That looked amazing. But do you really believe that the camera was connected to that rocket, to something that rocket was connected to and didn't vibrate at all? I find that hard to believe. That doesn't make sense to me. Now you're seeing a curve like we see on the ISS, and the ISS is 5 times higher than this thing. So that was the video there. No, we're not watching anymore. Yeah, it just doesn't. I'm not buying that. How? Was there no vibrations on that? I mean, it was so perfect and a crystal clear picture. It's no way. Captain Marvel sneakers, SpaceX Crew Dragon, Success heralds new era in spaceflight. Lieutenant Malloy's old friend isn't what he seems in the Orville episode Blood of Patriots. I mean, it's space.com and they're talking about the Orville. It's a little Earth behind on the space station. Okay, let's check out this. See if they show us the re-entry. Yeah, Thunderbirds are go. After a fiery re-entry. You can't make it into a s'more though. At least we have trying to be funny. Let's see. I don't want to go too high up. Okay, well, when SpaceX launched its first Crew Dragon spacecraft to the International Space Station last week. Oh, thanks. We'll just watch the videos. I think that's all they want us to do anyway. Let's look at some specs first, and then we'll try and pull it apart. See what they actually said here. The gleaming white vehicle soared into space on its maiden voyage. Now Crew Dragon is back, and it doesn't look so new. Returned to Earth today with a smooth splashdown that was yesterday in the Atlantic Ocean just off the east coast of Florida. Ending a 6-day test flight to the International Space Station when the spacecraft undocked from the space station earlier in the day. It was still a clear white, but now, after experiencing the fiery heat of re-entry, not so much. That the thermal protection system on the outside of Dragon, if you were watching during launch, was a pristine white, said SpaceX, blah, blah, blah. So it turned it, okay. So it looks like a marshmallow now, pretty much. I'm not going to read all their stupid. That's how, listen to how they say it. There was plasma, of course, as it re-entered through Earth's atmosphere. So we have a lovely toasted marshmallow there sitting in the nest of our recovery ship. It's just really cool to see that evidence of return back to Earth, Tice added. So that's evidence. So they were in space, and that's the evidence, is what he's saying. Now, why didn't any of the Apollo mission stuff have toasted marshmallow stuff on it? I didn't see any of them coming out of the water looking anything like this. Did our paint get worse? Is our paint less reliable to heat now? I don't understand. Hey, Dave, welcome, man. Yeah, why all of a sudden, when things are re-entering, are we getting all burned up? Has anybody ever seen anything like this before? I mean, do any of the other re-entry vehicles come back all burned up and have scars on them? This is the first one I've ever seen like this. You know, maybe they didn't know about it happening before, so it didn't happen, right? Just like them going through the Van Allen radiation belts. Well, we didn't even know about them, so we just went right through them. It was all right. Tyson's referring to the searing hot plasma of superheated gases that buffet a spacecraft during atmospheric reentry. Like all returning spacecraft, listen to that, like all returning spacecraft, has a protective heat shield on its base to bear the brunt of that heat. But the white thermal protection layers along its side look like they got a bit cooked, and that's only to be expected. Like I said, why Haven't we seen this before on anything re-entering? Are any of the rockets, their rockets that re-entered? Are any of their rockets that came back in SpaceX's rocket and landed on the pad? Did they have a bunch of burn marks all over the sides? I don't understand this. And that's only to be expected. Why is that to be expected if it's never happened before? Elon Musk said the scorch marks on Crew Dragon weren't even from the hottest point of reentry, which is what the spacecraft's main heat shield on the bottom successfully withstood. Good Lord. Atmospheric reentry at 17,000 miles per hour is like a meteor and will vaporize steel, Musk wrote on Twitter. Burn marks below are on the cold side, main heat shield on bottom. And then they go and show his tweet, of course. SpaceX has seen similar scorching on its Falcon 9 rocket booster after they touched down. Drone ships on ground-based landing pads. Has seen so they have seen similar. The first of those vehicles hangs today inside the company's Hawthorne, California rocket factory. It's SpaceX's first spacecraft built to carry astronauts for NASA under the agency's Commercial Crew program. This flight, called Demo 1, was an uncrewed test mission to see if the spacecraft will be ready for its astronauts. Carried a dummy astronaut named after the character from Aliens, Ripley, spacesuit to record the human astronaut might experience. Okay, in addition to SpaceX's Crew Dragon, NASA also plans to fly astronauts on the CTS-100 Starliner built by Boeing this year. It is scheduled to fly its own uncrewed test flight in April. SpaceX and Boeing also successfully perform uncrewed tests of their vehicles in-flight abort systems before launching astronauts into space. Yeah, you think, Dave, that they would try to come down as slow as possible. Yeah, is that possible to just kind of float? Do we have to drop like rocks and make a fiery entrance, the fireball and all that? Demo 1 test flight, full coverage. A walk through the spaceship. Let me close that nonsense out. Is there anything? Okay, let's go watch this video. Well, there's proof right there. I don't think that could be faked, huh? What about from the inside of the thing? Now it breaks away to whatever that was, showing chutes deploying. Didn't they say they had video from Ripley, like the dummy's camera? Maybe the scorch marks have something to do with the shape. I know Hank wants to go out. I'm going to just open the door for him here. Maybe I get one shake. And then it's just going to show it splashdown. Okay. Do they have... Let's see what their next video... And that's Virgin Galactic. We already saw that stuff. Now what's taking... Who's filming this? We're not going to get into that one again. Do they have it from the dummy's point of view? Hi, big boy. See this? It's a good boy. Let's see. Demo 1 test flight, full coverage. If this is just a news thing or what. Let's see. This is from March 3rd. Launch video, mission photos, Crew Dragon tour, dummy astronaut Ripley. Let's see what was actually... If they had her point of view or if it's just... Okay, SpaceX is launching a spacesuit-clad dummy on first Crew Dragon. Sorry for the noise. That's a dog drinking water. Let's see. Starman is about to get some off-Earth company. Seriously, they have to bring up that stuff. The vehicle will be carrying passengers of sorts, a humanoid dummy wearing the company's sleek black and white spacesuit. Such a suit also graces inert body of Starman on the mannequin driver of the Tesla blah blah blah. There is a, can I say dummy, Hans Koningsman, Vice President of Build and Flight Reliability at SpaceX, told reporters Friday. Is that the right word? Actually, the technical term is a bit fancier than that. ATD. NASA Commercial Crew Program Manager Kathy Luters told that guy during the news conference, apparently referring to an anthropomorphic test dummy. We prefer not to call them dummies. There is a puppet dummy, ATD, whatever it is in there, he replied, and we measure the response of the human on the human body, obviously, and measure the environment. We want to make sure everything's perfect for, the safety of... Is this how these people talk? It's in quotations. We want to make sure that everything is perfect for, the safety of astronauts. So the sensor-laden ATD will be a bit more high-tech than Starman, who was not required to measure any loads or stresses during the epic liftoff. I'd just like to see a video camera. 4K video camera right out the visors, showing exactly what the dummy sees the whole time. I want to see how well they can fake that. And we'll just have to call it the ATD until SpaceX brass tells us otherwise. Actually, I forgot to ask the name. I know he or she has a name. It's Ripley from the movie Alien. Okay, Crew Dragon is based heavily on the robotic Dragon capsule that has been making resupply runs to the ISS for NASA since 2012. So it's not like this capsule is new or anything like that. Big shocker. It's based heavily on the robotic Dragon capsule that sends robots, that I'm sure is pretty much built almost the same. It just doesn't have the seats for all the people. It has 7 seats, a life support system, and an emergency escape system. Touchscreen displays, windows, and other important passenger-related accoutrements. That's how I say that? All right, Sandra, take care, sweetie. There are other important differences too. For example, the robotic dragon has traditional deployable solar array and is grappled by the ISS, huge robotic arm, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's enough for this Dragon Crew nonsense. Let's go to space.com news. I know they've been talking a lot about the new stuff for the moon. We're going to have a space station that's orbiting the moon here by the end of 2020s. And it's Canada has already donated the robotic arm that we'll be using. They said something like this the other day. Watch the moon yo-yos across the sun in this bizarre video. What? 43 minutes ago. Don't panic, the solar system isn't falling apart despite the strange dance on display in this incredible footage captured by NASA's Solar Dynamic Observatory. We're going to take a look at this. What are they trying to say the moon did? Now what? Did you see that? This is fresh, folks. This is like 40 minutes ago. Strange view of the moon appearing to double back across the sun on March 6th, 2019. It actually says it's 3/7, 2019 right here on the bottom. Yeah, we'll watch that again here in a second. Okay, don't panic. Yeah, I will. I'll show it here in a second. It wasn't doing it. It did it automatic. Isn't falling to strange dance on the display, blah, 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 blah. Sure, the video appears to show the moon crossing the sun's face and then doubling back like a celestial yo-yo, but that's just a matter of perspective. The relative orbits of the spacecraft and the moon around the Earth. So it was supposedly taken from something out there. You can play similar visual tricks with neighboring cars on the... Yeah, but on the highway, the one car isn't 200,000 miles away. And the other one, 93 million miles away. Yeah, this looks just like total horseshit. Sorry, excuse my language. Solar Dynamics Observatory. It's about orbit size instead of speed. Okay, let's get the logistics here and see what they have to say. With the spacecraft, this phenomenon is about orbit size instead of speed. The SDO is orbiting much closer to Earth than the moon is. That means that every once in a while they align just so, with the SDO briefly traveling directly perpendicular to the moon. Then it turns to its relatively tight orbit around Earth, even as the moon, in its much more distant orbit, continues to swing across the sky. Let's see what their little diagram shows. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so if that is in perspective, how far out is this SDO thing? If that's 230,000 miles, that thing's supposedly way... So It's almost like this is just all just BS. Like clickbait. The moon blocks up to 82% of the sun's disk during the crossover. SDO has been in geosynchronous orbit since 2010. So it's not moving any faster than Earth is rotating. It's supposedly moving with the Earth. The sun in HD, latest photos, blah, stunning NASA video shows 3 years of the sun in 3 minutes. The sun flip out in a wild new satellite. No. I want to see that again. Let me see if I can't. How did I get that thing that it just like played by itself? Okay, I'll go back and I'll click on it again and we'll see if that does it. Oh wait, here we go. All right, let's see. Yeah, I don't buy that. Just don't buy it. That was one of the newest stories. And look at this. Space.com, Hive, further, faster, Marvel's first female cinematic superhero. This is Space.com. Exos Aerospace reflies suborbital rocket, barnstorming Venus, excerpt from Rod Pyle's Interplanetary Robots. Captain Marvel sneakers, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the thing's actually moving. And that was it. Yeah, Bubba. Just nonsense. Let's see what just Yahoo says here. Flashes down like in the space. Blah, 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 blah. Um, Twitter video from space, YouTube, space.com, blah, 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 NASA official site. Let's see what NASA. I have a question, folks. We're talking about does the Earth move, right? Yeah, that was just a circle, in my opinion, too. Okay, does the Earth move? This has been a topic. This is, this is what Bob was accused of proving, that the Earth moves and blah, 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 all this nonsense. We're going to look up stellar aberration. Now, I am on NASA's website here. First order effects of stellar, blah, 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 scalar fields. No, I want the Where's it at? Okay, I'm gonna put James Bradley. And I spelled it wrong too. Put two B's and there's two R's. I'll put him in the front. He was supposedly who discovered stellar aberration. Oh, maybe I need to. There we go. Are you serious? This is weird, folks. There's another thing that's been removed. This is crazy. Maybe there's more. No. Stellar. Maybe just James Bradley. I'll just look up James Bradley. Let me go back here. I'll just search James Bradley. Maybe. I mean, the guy was only Astronomer Royale. And he was on their website. All this stuff. Wow. Charles Bolden. They took James. They don't even talk about James Bradley. Bradley Bissell, James Overly. Jaron has a good video on this. I know it's got to still be up. Jaron has a video where he went into NASA and showed where they say in their own words how they take stellar aberration, the negative parallax of only certain stars. Most stars will process 0.02 arc seconds to 0.03 or something like that forward. Yeah, that's messed up, man. And what happens is every 3 or 4 years, they jump back like 0.06 and reset themselves where they were. But they don't all do it at the same time. Some stars are moving forward this year while another one's going way back in relative terms to how far they actually move every year, their precession. And the precession actually resets itself. Well, James Bradley figured this back out in 1720s. Let's just look up James Bradley on the internet. How's that? Let's just go look up. Wow, that is crazy, man. But I know Jaron, because Jaron's the one who taught me this. A long time ago, he had this up. James Bradley, astronomer. 1693 to 1762. And was an, oh wow, this is cool. This is wiki. Was an English astronomer and priest. Who served as Astronomer Royal from 1742, succeeding Edmund Halley. He is best known for two fundamental discoveries in astronomy: the aberration of light and the nuation of the Earth's axis. The aberration of light. Okay, so we're going to put James Bradley, astronomer, aberration of. Actually, we're going to say stars. Okay. Aberration of starlight, an apparent slight change in the positions of stars caused by the yearly motion of the Earth. See, that is horseshit. How are some moving forward and others moving backwards, which don't ever correct themselves? It's not like, oh, it moved backwards for this split second because of this and this and this, but now it's back in its right spot. No, it doesn't do that. These stars go back to where they were, and then it waits another year and then jumps up its little tiny bit a year later, little tiny bit a year later, and then boom, way back again, right to where it was. He figured this out. Ah, I call it the nuation of the Earth's axis. Oh my God, listen to this horseshit. This is how stuff works. Discover the aberration of starlight that provided the first direct proof that the Earth revolves around the sun. And the nuation or nodding motion of the Earth's axis. They're talking about the wobble, the 26,000 year wobble. Okay, so let's just look up stellar aberration and see if they show our aberration of stars. Aberration of starlight. Wow, just such not. I'm sorry, I'm sitting here reading. The apparent ellipse of motion of stars is called the aberration of starlight. Measurements of the size of the ellipse offer. Now, this is saying, now listen to this. Now, this is the apparent ellipse of motion of the star. Has nothing to do with the curve of the Earth or the Earth moving or spinning. This is saying that it's caused by an ellipse of motion of the star. Okay, measurements of the size of the ellipse offer one piece of evidence that the velocity of light is independent of observer's motion. The effect is independent of the parallax, which permits the determination of the distance of the closest stars by triangulation. And let's see. Now, we all just saw that stellar aberration was found by, what's his name? James Bradley. And NASA used to have a big thing, aberration of the solar wind, for the solar probe space plan by NASA, blah, 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 blah. Okay, nothing there. Newton physics, stellar aberration is a correction which is absolutely needed in order to get a logical system of coordinates for stars and galaxies, which is valid at any time all year round, even at any epoch. So, according to Einstein's relativity, it's a correction which is absolutely needed in order to get a logical system out of coordinates for stars. Wow, if that isn't so telling. Longitude chromatic aberration and longitude chromatic aberration, name of the stars and large longitude and appearance of the star and this image form, blah, 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 blah. Bunch of nonsense, folks. Okay, now listen to what they have here. Encyclopedia 2, the freedictionary.com. Aberration of starlight. Aberration of starlight, displacement of the apparent path of light from a star, resulting in the displacement of the apparent position of the star from its true position, discovered by the English astronomer James Bradley and explained by him in 1729. Oh, Liz, thank you, sweetie. Thanks for stopping in. It's always a pleasure to have you here. I'm just getting a little upset about NASA pulling how they measure stellar aberration and what stellar aberration really is. So you must give the motion to the star. This is by Miles Mathis. In current theory, they call it relativistic beaming, but it is the same thing as aberration of starlight, supposing the star is beaming. It just means we let the light source move rather than the observer of it. What? This creates an apparent reverse ellipse. Okay, it just means we let the light source move rather than the observer of it. Okay. How do you do that? How do you stop the Earth from moving? It just, we let the light source move rather than the Earth. So we just stop the Earth. That's Miles Mathis. Oh my goodness. Yeah, flattening atheism, more NASA bullshit. Well, not. I don't think we should close NASA. Imagine if we took all that money right there, just 1 year, and applied it to discovering where we are. Just not even actually. We could do 1 week and then give the rest out to whoever. Okay, now here's Wikipedia. Derivation from Lorentz transformation. Stellar aberration is only due to the change of the astronomer's inertial frame of reference. So in this article, he states that the direction of light ray isn't influenced by the motion of the star or by the motion of the Earth. Okay, so we've had it to where it's the motion of the Earth that's causing it. We've had it to where it's the motion of the star. And we've had it to where we look at it like the Earth isn't moving. And now we have it that it isn't the star or the Earth. At that time, the opponents of the special theory of relativity reasoned that the theory must be flawed. Okay, now listen to this aberration's definition. This is from Webster. The fact or an instance of deviating or being aberrant, especially from a moral standard or normal state. Yeah, I agree with you, Liz. So I'm going to try to find Jaren's video. I doubt he'll mind if I just play a small part of it. Um, let's see. YouTube. We'll just go into YouTube. Let me see if I can find this right now. Hey, I'm live. 2 people watching. Okay. Whoa. I hope this brings something up. Oh, he's got so many videos. maybe it's... Whoa, what happened there? Sorry, folks, I closed that out. I'm gonna have to open that back up. Hey, Celtic, how we doing, man? Ma'am, I'm not sure. I apologize. Well, that's the thing, flattening atheism. That's what we're talking about. There's this thing that now we can't record it, but it totally goes against their model. So I don't understand why they would bring it out. You know, it really, it's called stellar aberration. And they can't even agree. You go to different websites and it'll tell you it's the motion of the earth. It'll tell you, no, it's not. It's the motion of the stars. Then it'll tell you it's neither. Then it'll tell you it's pretending like the earth isn't moving. It's it's really insanity the way they portray it to be. Are you guys seeing anything here? Am I still sharing? Let me there we go. Yeah, I shut that one out. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, believe I know that the earth is not moving. And I'm not saying that it's true. I'm saying that they recorded this movement in the stars. And it's the precession of the stars. You know how they say that they move this far and it takes 26,000 years and yada, yada, yada? Well, this guy, James Bradley, he discovered, supposedly, back in like the 1730s, 1729, I think it was, that some stars are precessing forward, you know, 0.01 to 0.03 arc seconds a year. And it's in sections of the sky. It's not like the whole sky is doing it. Well, certain sections of the sky move backwards. So some of the stars are moving forwards while some of them are moving backwards. So this should negate the whole idea that it is the rotation of the earth causing this. It should just, you know, it's not possible that it's the rotation of the earth making the stars move when some of them are going backwards and others are going forward. Yeah, I don't say that. I'm not saying I told you I can't go show you this. Okay, I can't. It's not something that I can do. Measure 0.01 to 0.03 arc seconds. I don't have that kind of equipment. You know, I can't go do it. But they're telling us this. They have come out and told us this thing that happens in their system that is a flaw in their system. We were just looking at a bunch of things. The last one, the Newtonian one, said that this is a problem. And I think we need to make this a little more out there. We need to let more people know about this, that according to their own science, and we just went to NASA's website and it's no longer up there. Right now, I'm trying to look for Jeranism's video. Let's see if I can find it. But I know he did a video on this because he's the one who showed me this. And he went to NASA and did it. And then I went to NASA and read the exact same thing that he read, word for word, verbatim. And now it's no longer at NASA. So I'm going to try to find it here on Jaren's channel. And then, can I search his channel? Yeah. So I'm going to put in stellar parallax. And we'll see if we can search that. 5 minutes and 24 seconds. 4 years ago. This might be it, actually. Oh, I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of them. We'll just go through real quick. Let's see. Because we were just at the NASA website where it was showing what it looks like. So, oh, he showed NASA. You're gonna show what they say there. Oh, this sucks. This is gonna really upset me now. Trying to find this. Go back. I know it was way back too. Let's see, what kind of playlist does he have? I never look at anybody's playlist. SpaceX, short clips, do-it-yourself helpfuls, flat Earth clues. Oh man, and I know it was a long time ago. There's no way. Maybe I'll put in James Bradley. Search James Bradley. I doubt. Too much stuff. Oh, thanks, Voynich. James Bradley. Sorry, I was reading. That was a good one, Flatman. Nothing matches. Maybe stellar. ABER. Aberration. Nope. I know it was him. I know for a fact that it was him, for sure. Sort by oldest. Yeah, there we go. We're going to go back in time, folks. Moon hoax evidence, NASA deception, Freemason organization, greatest hoax ever sold. Flat Earth facts from Tesla, Essen, and other scientists. Ba, 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 ba. Truth of the New Moon, Flat Truth of the New Moon Globe Earth Model, The Truth of Flat Earth by George Orwell. Oh, man. This is going to drive me nuts. I know he's got so much stuff. Uh, Minute for the 10 ways to know the Earth is round, debunked. I went to the moon. Strange world proof. Laser test results. Stage of Quay. The nail in the coffin. All about fake space. I love that one. Anti-scientific revolution. Religion of 21st century scientism. Gosh, that might be it. For some reason, that one really sticks out in my head, but and I can't say anything about him labeling his videos. I put crochet in front of a bunch of them, you know. Release a new side of fake, armored skeptic, flat reality. Both prove no curvature, Jainism raw, taboo conspiracy, Pentagon bomb, Hovind says globe. Oh. Satellites are fake, white rabbit. Do you see what I see? What is reality really? Hello, hello, hello. Wow. How we doing, Trav? I am looking for a Jeranism video. We just went to NASA to look up James Bradley and stellar aberration. They used to have a great article in there and how they actually take their measurements. And it's gone. And I saw this from a Jeranism video, and I went and did the exact same thing, and I read it word for word verbatim of what he read on his video. And we just went to NASA to go try and find it, and there was nothing there. Nothing on the topic anymore. It's been scrubbed. It's been removed. They're hiding it. And when they do that, I think they hide things for reasons. So yeah, I'm trying to go back through and find out when Jaron did this. And he's just got so many videos. University of Rocket Launch, yeah. Man. And he's way better at labeling than I am. But I'm gonna have to go through like every one. If it's not, so you know, Earth is a ball. I'd like to think that he made. See, I looked for parallax though, and none of his videos have parallax in them. None of them have stellar aberration. None of them have James Bradley in the titles. And that's like the whole topic of it. So these are all 2 years ago. JFK speech was great. Aleister Crowley. Flight paths. Why would they lie? 5 facts about Earth you didn't learn in school. Do you think this is real? Oh. Yeah, I really wanted to start, and the thing is we would need an observatory type thing to discover this. They're talking about zero point zero 0.01 to zero point zero 0.03 arc seconds of movement, something you could not measure with your eye. You would definitely need a telescope that is mounted in the ground and has all the measurements on there, and you can measure this star at this exact time, come back the next year, measure that star at that exact time, come back the next year, measure that star at that exact time. And you do it for years. And they did this a bunch of different times for years and years and years of their life. And they found out that some of the stars, all of the stars, but not all at the same time. Most of them are moving forward, but some stars in the skies are moving backwards. And it's not zero point zero 0.01 to zero point zero 0.03, it's like 0.04 to zero point zero 0.06. So they're moving back to their original position. Well, the exact time in that solar year. That's why it's so hard to do. You have to pick a star and the North Star, and when they hit this, when that star lines up directly north or south of you with the North Star at that exact moment, blah blah blah, that time of day, time of night, whatever, you take your measurement, and then you come back at that exact same time the next year. And it's weird because some of the stars are moving forward, but some of them are moving back, and they're moving back much further. Like the 3 to 4 years it took them to move forward, they jump all the way back to their original spot. And he even showed it in Stellarium at doing this, and then they quit. I think they stopped it even in Stellarium. But he's shown so much stuff. But the thing is, you and I can't measure this. We can't measure it. We can't figure this out. So why would they even tell us about it if it throws a big giant monkey wrench in their model? And then we looked at it, different you. Excuse me. We were searching it, and we typed in stellar aberration, and they were all like scientific, spacey, physics, whatever places, right? And one says that it's the movement of the Earth. Others say it's the movement of the stars. Others say it's pretending like the Earth isn't moving, and that's how you get these measurements. So it's like you stop the Earth. It's yeah, it's crazy that they would even tell us, but I'd like to see if this is true. And the thing is, NASA even admitted in their things that instead of marking the negative parallax that they record from just certain stars while other stars are all moving forward, instead of marking that in their, data, instead of marking a -4 to a negative, or a 0.04 to a negative 0.06, instead of marking that, they mark a 0 in their data. And then on the ledger to the side, they mark the actual measurements. So for data that's sent out, you know, it's just marked a 0. But in reality, that star is now back where it was a few years ago, according to all the other stars. Now, like I said, I can't confirm this. I don't have that kind of stuff. I don't have a observatory. But I think why they had to come out and tell us is because other people started getting these big giant telescopes that they were setting. And I'm not talking about giant observatories, but big telescopes. There's astronomers out there that are not professional. That's not their job. They're amateur, but they have very good equipment. And if they're doing stuff like measuring this stuff, it's kind of like getting the story out before anybody else figures it out. So you get to lay the groundwork for it. Yeah, exactly. The plain truth. Yeah, exactly, Trav. But they actually came out and say it in his video that he showed. Even the one I read that we can't find now at NASA, it said to mark it in the ledger. Your actual data slot will be marked as a 0, but over in the side ledger we'll mark the actual. Southern Star Trails. It might be after this. Lighthouse Obscurity. And call blah, 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 blah. Solar Eclipse. Golfing the Pool. Light speed, speed of light debunked. Okay. Eratosthenes, Mission to Mars, 2035. Blah, 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 blah. Look around. Okay, hold on. I got to get Hank. He's sitting there barking. I don't want him bothering anybody if baby's sleeping or something like that. Hey, Sandra. Welcome back. Yeah, right now I'm on Jeranism's channel looking for, I don't know if you were here, Sandra, if you already had taken off. Stellar Aberration has been removed from NASA's website. Are you going to find it, Hanky Pinker? Are you going to find it for me? Liz thinks you might be able to find it. Huh. If I had a thumb, I'd be mad on that thing. Yeah, that's a good boy. Okay, Life Sparkane, Round and Curvy, that was a funny one. 2017 convention. 1 year ago. I know this had to be more than 1 year ago, so I probably passed it up. We'll just go back to NASA one more time. I'll show you guys that it's not there. NASA.gov. Maybe if I put in, well, come on, NASA. Humans in space, solar system, education, history. No. Okay, we'll start with James Bradley. This guy was Astronomer Royale who discovered this, okay? He used to be in here. Once I find that Jeranism video, I'll make a video showing this. Or maybe I'll just drop it to him, the idea to him, and he can show this, how it's not happening. Take care, Bible literalist. Tail down, Inker Pinker. Okay, Bradley University, Jane involving the... Okay, Charles Bolden, let's see, James. Picture is still an extra discovered Kennedy Space Center launch of that doesn't even have James Bradley in it. Bradley Bissell, James Overly. James Bradley, James Sutter, James Gayer, Bradley something or other. Is there a filter at the top? No. Oh, what was that over there? No. Okay, let's see if there's a next. So you think when I put the exact name in there, it might, but they might just be hiding it back here in the back. I didn't go through all this stuff, so I'm going to right now. I'll probably get taken off or be taken off here in a little bit. Today we're planting. This afternoon we'll be putting plants in the garden. I'm so excited. Ba, 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 ba. 2016, 2017, 2014. Okay, so they're not in any special order. So you would think me putting in James Bradley, those two names would be right next to each other and they would have been at the top. I am still not seeing anything for James Bradley. Bradley O'Toole, Bradley Messer, James B. Gavin, James J. Jennings. So I mean, I can go to the next one. How many of these pages are you? This used to be so much easier to navigate through too. Press releases. No results for James Bradley. Okay. Images maybe. Uh, 1990 to 2012 press releases. Blah, 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 no. Back to everything. So James Bradley is a no-go. We'll put in Stellar Aberration again. Oh, thank you, Liz. You have a wonderful day, man. Enjoy it with your grandson. Okay, the first order effects of stellar aberration will be removed by scaling the field to match the predicted positions. What is this? Wow, I think they're telling how they're going to get rid of stellar aberration or how they did it. Now I'm finding it looked like there was even more on stellar aberration all of a sudden. What is this now? Oh, I don't want to read through all this. Where's the stellar aberration? No, I'm not looking through all that nonsense right now. Not while we're here doing this. It's all about studying extrasolar planets around stars. Internal stellar compass. But yeah, just listen to how they word this. This is how they do it. The first order effects of stellar aberration will be removed by scaling the field to match the predicted positions. Does that sound scientific to you, or does that sound like somebody reverse engineering something? Internal stellar compass and lateral chromatic aberration, ultraviolet stellar astronomy experiment. These measures contain information on telescopes and atmospheric aberrations. We're not talking about atmospheric ones. These never correct themselves. When that star moves that much, it is that much the next day and the next day and the next day, no matter what the okay, aberrations in blood, Hubble Space Telescope, aberrations in blood, aberration, new aurora, blah blah blah. So the only time I see stellar aberration next to each other. Okay, what is this? The first order effects of stellar aberration. I wish it told me where in this that was. Oh, this is gonna... The part that's so frustrating is it was so easy to find the first time I did it. Right after I saw Jaron do it, I was like, well, because just like he says, don't take my word for it. Come here and do it yourself and come and look. So I did. And there it was. And I was like, all right, this is cool. And it's been eating away at me and eating away at me. And I brought it up with certain people and should have, this teaches you when you find something new that's on this platform of the internet, and if you want to keep it, then you need to put it to an external hard drive or take actual photocopies, or because they've been removing stuff like mad. They get rid of all kinds of things. No James Bradley. Only one mention of stellar aberration. Yeah, he was only Astronomer Royal who discovered stellar aberration. I hope they're not saying, well, you didn't capitalize it. I doubt it's going to produce, no different results. Okay. Oh, why are we under press releases? Oh, because we were looking to see if he had anything under press release. No, so yeah, it's all nonsense, folks. And the fact that they took it down from here, it's a red flag in my eyes. So I'm gonna try to get in touch with Jaronism and see if he remembers this or has the video. Maybe he knows which one it is. Probably better than I would. And we'll do this again. Probably just gonna erase this hangout. It was just me ranting and raving about Bob and Nathan, what's been going on at the beginning there. And then I started talking about this. But this was more or less just for me to blow off some steam. So thank you all for listening to me rant and rave. Always have fun. So yeah, I'll make a video on this once I get my ducks in a row and figure out what video Jaren's was, and maybe get permission to use some of it and all that kind of good stuff. Because obviously, I'm not going to find it. Not here. So, all right. This is Good Times for All signing out. Let me, let's see here real quick. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We'll do this, I don't know, maybe Saturday mornings. I don't know. I've been trying to do something on a more regular basis, but you know, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So I love y'all. Thanks for joining me. Good Times for All here signing out. As always, thanks for watching.